I wanted to thank you for taking time to speak with me today.
Yeah, no, appreciate the opportunity to have a chat with you for sure.
You have to be very excited about the EP. Kick ass top to bottom. How did
Yeah, no,
the,
thanks, man.
how did the band get together?
So it's interesting. So I was playing, I was part of a project that's in a more session capacity with a band, and there was a guitarist that was in there along with me. He ended up moving on early 24, and the back end of 2024, I had some riffs in my head. I knew he had some riffs. So 10 months after he sort of moved on, we got together, got into a jam room, and four jams in, there was four tracks written, and we're like,
Wow.
"Whew, this is going. This is going well. It's ideas are flowing. It's we seem to be on the same wavelength with everything, and so we're like, all
Mhm.
right, let's push this a bit more. Let's see what we can do, right? So we were doing everything basically on the go, recording to, drum loops and stuff like that to just have the ideas down there ready to crack
Sure.
on. Jumped online, looked for a vocalist, found Josh. He came in, he laid some test vocals on a couple on one of our tracks, and we're like, holy crap, this guy's nailed it. It's what's turned out to be Gift of the Gods on the EP. So he smashed out the chorus like in that, and we're like, yeah, man, this sounds really good. So we got him in, and we we took our time. We were trying to find a drummer. It took a little bit of time, but in the meantime, we with Josh, with Nathaniel, and myself, we smashed out got an album's worth of material ready to go. And we tried getting a drummer in, trying to get him up to speed, trying to go and then go and do the EP. It didn't sort of pan out the way we wanted to, but in the end, Josh had a mate in New Zealand who was able to do some MIDI drums for us. We took his drum ideas, put them through onto the EP. We did the EP, got that out, and now we finally now locked in probably one of the better drummers in Perth, I'd say, here in WA.
Great.
Very technical guy in Ferdinand who's just a machine. And now that's us. That's the core. It took a bit to go, but it all really started from just jam sessions in the music room, man. It was how it should be.
Yes, absolutely. And it's amazing that you mentioned Gift of the Gods because that's my favorite track on the album. It just,
Oh,
I,
excellent.
from the intro riff on, it just is a very strong song. And what I loved about was the placement of it because it made you want more after the EP ended.
Yeah. So there's plans for that. We've got some plans for that. So there's things in the background that hopefully through the middle of this year will make people happy, I reckon, when we get it out.
And I wanted to
So
ask
yeah,
you as
so I'm
well,
glad to hear that. I appreciate that.
I wanted to ask you as well,
Yeah.
are there plans for this band to do shows?
Yes, definitely. So we because it took a bit of time to finalize the lineup through 2025. So we focused towards the back end on just to get the EP out, get that recorded,
Mhm.
get that out, start promoting that. And then the idea is now that we've got that core group of four is yes, get it out there. We will start here in WA, we'll start looking at getting some shows. We've got some feelers out there. We'll try to get on a few shows in the front half of the year and then see what the crowd reaction is, see what that's like, see what sort of, you know, crowd we can pull, and then use that as a bit of a springboard, get some new material out 2026 again, just to, keep the momentum going with that. And and then the idea is, yeah, to then push on into the back second half of 26, play some bigger shows, try to get onto a couple of the local festivals that we've got here, and go forward from there. So yes, definitely getting out on stage is definitely the plan.
And definitely tracks like Blame Tornado and stuff like that would be superb to see live.
Oh, I'm waiting. I'm hanging to play it. I'm hanging to play that one in particular. Just finding a nice sweet spot in the set list for that, I reckon will be it'll definitely give a bit of variation and a bit of it'll give something different for sure, comparatively.
I wanted to ask you if you could take me back in time and tell me how your musical career started.
Yeah, so myself, so I'm the bass player. I don't know, I was 13, 14 years old, and my brother had been playing guitar, and I was like, oh, okay. I started listening to metal music around that time as well, 12, 13. My cousin got me into one of the first albums he showed me was Rain in Blood.
Oh,
Slayer's Rain in Blood. So I was like, oh man, this is, and then some Pantera stuff, obviously Metallica at the time as well, but that sort of thing. So I sort of started playing bass because yeah, brother was playing guitar already. Took on the went to my first lesson with the guitar teacher, and I had a pick in my hand. He's like, mate, nah, you bass player, you're not playing
right.
the pick. Like, fair call. And yeah, just from there, it was all about playing music, learning music, just playing tracks, and it was great. Our guitar teacher he was very much a jazzy guy, just traditional sort of music, rocky music. So me and a couple of other mates back in Melbourne, we're all metal, wanting to listen to metal, want to play metal. Bring him stuff like from Iron Maiden, and he'd be like, "Oh yes, let's go, let's sit down, let's have a crack at learning this and get it going." So my music started all on the traditional side of a lot of that metal, your big four, your traditional metals in Maiden, Priest. And over a few years, it shifted into the European power metal scene. Blind Guardian is now basically an all-time favorite, and those sort of guys sort of really influenced my playing. Grosskopf from Halloween, so Halloween's bass player. Steve Harris, obviously the main sort of instigators in terms of my style. I think it comes through a little bit on the EP, which is good. Um, but yeah, it was just started there, and it was just a journey, and just constantly seeing and hearing about bands that even though they've been around for a while, you don't not mainstream in Australia. So you hear them through the grapevine and look up for them and look and you see who's similar, who's playing on tours with who, and that sort of stuff.
Sure.
And yeah, just from there, it was just it just progressed, and it's to the point now, over 20 years worth of music playing, and finally now this is a formal release for myself. A few of the other guys have released things before in the band, but yeah, it's like an accomplishment, I guess, for myself, which is really good.
And looking at your side of the pond right now, man, so much great music is coming from your area.
Yeah, yeah. There's some big stuff. I mean, I was shocked, like in the even in the hardcore styles and stuff. Parkway all of a sudden, how massive Parkway Drive are,
Yeah.
to the point where a couple of years ago they were here in Perth. They had a venue. They had to upsize the venue to the biggest indoor arena in Perth because it's just the show just sold out so fast. We've got local bands here in WA that across the spectrum of the metal scene, like Silent Night, probably the biggest power metal band here in WA. Vanta, a technical death metal band that Ferdinand is the drummer in as well, and he's playing with us, but he's got his stuff. There's a lot out there. I've seen Neo Oblivicaris, Neo Mantra, a lot in the death metal scene, like that sort
Hmm.
of style. There's a lot of that coming across to the US and to Europe as well, and getting their opportunities. So yeah, hopefully we can help continue to drive that wave of Aussie music that's getting out into the world.
And I wanted to ask you, we spoke about how great and how fluid the songs came to you when you worked it out together. Were there was there consideration of starting with a full length?
We did think about it. We do have the material. We did have the material in the bank for a full length. Um, but I think we were excited by the four tracks that were probably at this stage. We wanted to get something out. I guess
Hmm.
we wanted to get something out, introduce ourselves. Um, it made sense to maybe do it through an EP to start with. We had, like I said, we had the material for a full length, but I think we'd the four tracks that we released came together really, really, really well. and they came together really quickly. And so we thought, look, these are the four strongest so far. Let's get them out there. Let's gauge the reaction and go from there. The idea, it's also, the music industry changed a lot. Obviously now, the more you can
Sure.
put out, the quicker you can put out stuff, um, the more momentum you can maintain, particularly for smaller, independent artists and things like that. You haven't got that following hanging and waiting and waiting and waiting for the next thing and willing to wait. So, internally we've been thinking about how we do that, and we decided EP to start with. We may even consider, look, mid-year, do a second EP, do the second half of the tracks that we have ready to go, get them out, and then within 6 months you've effectively got what equates to a full length that's come out into the market. But there is definitely plans for full length. When it happens, we'll see what happens over the next 3 to 6 months.
And I also wanted to ask you, who is responsible for the album artwork?
So that was a guy, local tattoo artist, Kenny Anderson, here in Perth. He actually did my tattoo that I've got. He's just happens to be someone local in the area that I know. And he likes metal. He likes his heavy music as well. So I asked him if he was interested in doing it. He said yeah, he was happy to give it a crack, and we sent him the 4 tracks, sent him the lyrics, gave him a bit of an idea on what we were thinking, and
Hmm.
yeah, he pulled together the artwork really well. I think
Yeah,
it really suited what came out of it in terms of theme.
absolutely. And I wanted to ask you as well, now that the EP is out, what is the best way to get a hold of it and any merchandise that you have?
Merch is on the way, so we haven't got the merch yet, but we've got plans for merch. At this moment, look, realistically, to get to the EP, jump onto Spotify. You'll find it on Spotify. Other streaming services, it's there. We've got our Bandcamp, so people are happy to get it via Bandcamp. That'll be there. It's there for them.
Excellent.
Um, Merch, once we've got it, we've got some plans. We've been talking to some merchandisers. It'll probably end up on our Bandcamp. Seems to be the best way to do it from an independent artist perspective. So it'll be up there on Bandcamp. It'll all be announced. And that's the plan over the next little bit now. We've had a bit of a break with the Christmas New Year period. Everyone's gone,
Sure.
done the holiday and the family thing. We get back into it this week. We'll have some conversations internally, and we've got some leads on tees and stuff. So t-shirts will be available, and we'll get them ready to go, and we'll get them out and onto our Bandcamp store most likely.
Well, I wanted to thank you again for an amazing EP. Once I heard this EP, I couldn't wait to speak with you, my friend. Lastly, I wanted to ask you if you could give a message to your fans, what message would you give them?
Oh, look, for local independent, musicians and artists, it's all about support. So get on there, jump on the yeah. Unfortunately, it is what it is, but get onto Instagram, get onto Facebook, give us a follow, give us a like. Once we're announcing shows, come out and see them. But otherwise, go and have a listen and go and enjoy the music.
Absolutely, because there's a lot of great material there. It's smoking from top to bottom. I can't wait to hear what comes next from you, my friend.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. That's great to hear. I do appreciate. We all appreciate it. There's been a lot of effort the guys have put in, and we're all very happy with the way it's turned out.
And thank you again for taking time to speak with me. It's been an absolute pleasure speaking with you.
Cheers, Rob. Appreciate the time and always happy to have a chat. Thank you.
Cheers. Take care, my friend.
Yeah, mate. Bye.